until proven innocent. They have to justify why this money is being spent in the first place.
Wait a minute. That's how the law works. Innocent until proven guilty. You have to prove that
that's not how taxpayer money works, though. It's that if we find waste, you're going to have to over-justify why this exists in the first place.
Yeah,
Secondly,
but you just fire them. You just get rid of the program automatically before you've done the work to
let me go back to one more thing. This is an argument they're making. Oh, it's not that much money. Even if you only save $100 in taxpayer money, that is a moral fight worth having. Yeah. That attitude is why we're $35 trillion in debt. Secondly,
Charlie Kirk completely schools this naive, ignorant, brainwashed leftoid gentleman right here on the subject of Doge. Yes, Charlie Kirk is back to debate these leftoid college students who have been indoctrinated by the Democrat narrative, and Charlie Kirk pulls back no punches. Let's see how this debate goes.
Drill in a bit about Doge and some of the
Quick, we've done it like 5 or 6 times.
And about some of these hirings and some of the unconstitutional moves they've been making. I don't to be more useful here. When your claim is that you're trying to make the government more efficient, and then you arbitrarily fire a bunch of people. For example, for the nuclear people, a bunch of them were fired, and then they had to get them back. You're wasting time and effort by randomly and arbitrarily picking how to handle these cases. If your claim is that you want to be efficient, you should just go and immediately start firing people. You have to go over this with a lot more methodical effort, and that's not what's happening. And on top of that, the DOGE administration will not save enough money. Even if you were to fire every single government employee, they would not even be able to get to a fraction of how much revenue we need to get for taxes. That's not enough, and it's not helpful.
No, I mean, I have these placards.
Sorry. And when you go over those placards, you can flash them and say that
it's $115 million.
Yes.
For equity assessment programs. That's a lot of money.
No, it does not. And with regards, compared
this
to
is
how
not
much,
a lot of money.
Compared to how much we need to run the country.
Hold on. This is a very important point you're making.
We're talking about scale here. About $2.6 trillion of revenue comes from our income taxes. If you're going to make these cuts, you need to meaningfully account for them.
This is a false argument. I'm glad you're making it, which is that we shouldn't cut it because it's not that big of a deal.
No, that's not what I mean.
So should we cut this? $115 million for equity assessment of existing program policies.
The point is that if we're going
I'm going to make the point, but do you think this should be cut?
It depends. You need to make the argument that it's actually good. You can't just flash the dollar sign.
I'm going to flash
and
it.
Then say
equity assessments of existing program policies, $115 million.
Yes, you have to justify that.
I mean, $115 million saved. I mean, how is that not justifiable? The government has been really abusive with our money the last, I don't know, however many years. Because they actually can print money, and because they have just our tax revenue just coming in and stuff, they think that they could just spend it however they want, and they have. They've just been wasting money, throwing at needless programs, hiring employees that barely do anything, sending our money to other countries, pointless programs. I mean, $150 million, I mean, yeah, is that going to take us out of debt or anything like that? No, not just by the $150 million, but it's a start. It's definitely worth doing.
Program is helpful or not. You have to justify the existence of the program.
Yes, it should not exist.
Why? Why does it not exist?
Well, first of all, the president signed an executive order saying no more DEI. Okay. Equity assessment should have no place in the U.S. government because equity is not constitutional. It's not in the U.S. Constitution. It's not an American value. Why? It's about redistribution. And $115 million is a grotesque amount of money to spend on it. So you should get rid of it to save taxpayer money. Now,
it's not
to your
saving
point,
taxpayer money.
It's $115 million to get rid of this. Now, it's also $144 million here of empty buildings. How about empty buildings?
Again, you can't just say empty building. You have to go over a detailed.
No, we did. That's why there's 97 of them. They reviewed the leases. Yes. They're vacated because of COVID. That's $144 million. So right here, I have $330 million. We're going to keep going, right?
Yeah, you can keep doing that. No, but you have to actually just justify why the policies are helpful or not.
What do you mean? How is it helpful? What are the 97 leases to just empty buildings? How can you justify keeping that? Why do we need 97 empty buildings? Why do we need to keep paying for that? How is that justifiable? What do you mean? Well, you need to justify it. I think saying we're paying for the leases of 97 empty buildings, I think that should say it all. I don't know why this needs explanation. Well, I mean, I guess to a person like this who lacks any kind of common sense, who is purely ideologically driven, yes, obviously you're going to have to explain that to them. because obviously Orange Man bad, Elon Musk bad. So yeah, you're going to have to justify no longer paying for 97 leases.
What's interesting?
Like you can say how much they cost.
Hold on
but
a
if
second.
they do something useful for the government, then their prices make sense.
They're empty buildings. What use is happening for them other than landlords getting rich for nothing? The point is this. You think the government is innocent until proven guilty. I think the government, after what we've learned, is guilty until proven innocent. They have to justify why this money is being spent in the first place.
Wait a minute. That's how the law works. Innocent until proven guilty. You have to prove that
that's not how taxpayer money works, though. It's that if we find waste, you're going to have to over-justify why this exists in the first place.
Yeah,
Secondly,
but you just fire them. You just get rid of the program automatically before you've done the work.
Let me go back to more thing. This is an argument they're making. Oh, it's not that much money. Even if you only save $100 in taxpayer money, that is a moral fight worth having. That attitude is why we're $35 trillion in debt. Secondly, which is very important, if you annualize DOGE's savings, you know how much they're on pace to save this year? $1 trillion. $1 trillion, which would then get us on path for a balanced budget. They're on pace because you say, oh, it's only $1 billion here. They've been in for 6 weeks. They've already saved $100 billion. By December, they'll be at $1 trillion. Our deficit is $1.6 trillion. We're going to lower our deficit in such an increasingly important way, and you're going to learn that you actually don't need these government agencies to run a country, that these people are unnecessary, it's bloated, these bureaucrats don't do anything all day long, and we need to right-size it because we're a nation in debt. We know we're $35 trillion in debt?
Yes.
In debt?
Yes.
And the only way we're going to get out of it is if we're honest, be like, how about no more empty buildings? No more $115 for equity assessment program.
Out of it is by
Biodiversity in Nepal, $19 million?
Again, those can be important. You have to, those could be helpful.
Okay, so how could biodiversity in Nepal for $19 million? We spent $20 million for a new Sesame Street in Iraq. It's true. You guys can look it up. Yes. $20 million for New Sesame Street in Iraq. And because no one has ever had the courage to look through the books and look and examine the expenditures.
But that's not what's happening.
No, it has happened. No, Biden, Obama, they never looked through any of the federal expenditures. And we got to $35 trillion in debt. This is the first time in my lifetime we have an administration going after the waste, going after the size of government to balance the budget so that you guys don't live as indentured servants and Russian serfs for the rest of your life.
Tell him, Charlie!
It's so amazing to me. These leftoids will blame everyone. They'll blame the billionaires. They'll blame boomers. Oh, I can't afford to buy a house because of those boomers. They'll blame boomers. They'll blame billionaires. They'll blame Trump. They'll blame Elon Musk. They'll blame everybody but the government, specifically the Democrat government. Because, yeah, they have no problem blaming Republicans for things. But when it comes to Democrats, they're so brainwashed into defending the Democrats no matter what, to where you tell them, hey, listen, look, we're saving millions of dollars by cutting this off. And they're fighting on this. They're like, no, we should send our money to Nepal for whatever. We should have Sesame Street in Iraq or whatever it was going to be at. We need these things for what? I don't know. The Democrats just told me we do.
I just want to say,
Brother.
What?
Never mind.
Go ahead.
You don't need to interrupt people. Thank you.
Going, bro. It's fine.
The point is, when you want to deal with this problem, you can either increase taxes or cut spending massively. The point is that these programs aren't efficient and helpful for getting to that goal.
Yes, I just proved to you that they're on pace for $1 trillion
in
cuts.
Not just prove that.
But even if it's only $1 billion or $2 billion, that's admirable and noble. That's just so we're clear.
Is twofold. You have to both justify that these programs are bad, and then no, you can flash a sign. This is a program. It costs this much money. We should cut it. That's not an argument.
$1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia.
Again, you can say that.
Do you know anything about Liberia? No. I happen to know a lot about it, but that's a separate issue.
It's not about what I know. It's about the people in the government making these decisions.
Yes, and they have proven themselves to be robber barons over the last 20 years. They're spending your money with reckless abandon and total indiscretion. And it's time that this is what's important. It's we the people, not we the government workers. And we've taken back the government.
The government workers are also American people.
Yes, but who works for who? Do we work for them or do they work for us? Which one?
Yes. They work for us. Obviously.
They work for us, yes. So we voted in November by popular vote and electoral vote landslide that this crap is over. And that's what we're doing. We overwhelmingly spoke. And so we're going to go piece by piece, department by department, and this is why it's important. You guys deserve a future where you don't have $35 trillion in debt, where you don't have $1 trillion deficit.
Solving that problem by doing this.
Again, $1 trillion. You have to address this. They're on pace to cut $1 trillion by December. That's big. Big. That's 75% of our deficit.
Okay. But my point is that like you have to meaningfully increase taxes or cut something like cuts. Yes, you do.
Well, I know that's what he's doing. They are meaningfully cutting spending.
You have to cut tax. You either raise taxes.
No, you don't.
Or massively cut spending.
Got it. Let me just ask one final question.
Yes.
If Trump and Elon get this done and balance the budget and cut all this, will you give them credit?
It depends on how successful and fun. Wait, I am not finished speaking. Oh my God! It depends on how successful the country is afterwards. It depends. If you make a lot of cuts and the country becomes worse, then you didn't do your job.
I don't see how the country would do worse after making these cuts. That doesn't make any sense. Like think about it in your own household. If you cut out wasteful spending, like how, like if you just cut off all the wasteful spending, the spending that is actually just waste and you don't need it, how is that? Like, how would that hurt you? Like, it would only be beneficial. But this person right here, again, they're so ideologically driven. They're like, no, I need my daddy government to take care of us. I need my daddy government. Even they're saying, well, you need to raise taxes. Oh, you just want to give more of your money to the government? Oh, yeah, sure. Let's do that, bruh. Like, they're so brainwashed into just thinking that they need daddy government, daddy Democrat government to take care of them. That when Elon Musk and Donald Trump, when they go in there and do away with all this wasteful spending, they're questioning like, "Whoa, no, we need my spending. We need to spend this money. The Democrats, they know best, and if they say we need to send money to have Sesame Street in Iraq or the whatever, all this BS stuff that they want to send our money for, well, then I trust them. I trust them that they're making the good decision and that this is what we need to do." And they call us a cult, but I think it's clear who the real cult is when they're trying to cut wasteful spending and they're having issues with it. They're fighting, they're crying over it, they're arguing over it. When they're complaining that we stopped paying leases for 97 empty buildings, I mean, I think it's quite clear who the cult really is. Charlie Kirk did a great job here setting this young lighten the loafers gentleman straight. What did you guys think about this clip? Sound off in the comment section below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, if you like seeing Charlie Kirk do his thing, I have a whole playlist for you on the screen, a lot of with other great right-wing political content that I think you'll enjoy.